I guess to your point, if you don't have access to a mentor, right? Which a lot of us,
because it's kind of,
which a lot of us don't.
Like, I mean, look,
a lot of us, you know, growing up the way that we grew up in, which we've said it a lot of times, right? Like in the inner cities, right? Immigrants, first or second generation, we don't have mentors, right?
You don't really know how to go to it. Sometimes
Right.
you can just feel awkward. Hey, listen, can you mentor me? Yo, que lo que? Yo, what up, Jay? Man, I was missing this shit, bro. I'm glad we back.
You were here
baby.
last week, bro.
Come on,
You were here
man.
last
But
week,
look, I look forward
Yeah.
to Wednesdays, bro. To me, it's like
Me too.
It's my favorite day of the week, you know. Even though we're kind of down to, you know, but you know, big shout out to my man.
I was
Josh.
about to be like, yo, what do you mean we're down to?
We're down to,
Oh,
man.
but we are down to.
Yeah, we're down to
Yo,
two
my bad,
essential
guys.
players.
I didn't really mean that. You know, I didn't mean it.
It's fine, man. We just
We're
want
gonna try to give you a good show today. It's just two of us, but we're gonna, you know.
I'm on my skip today.
Let me ask you a question though. Do we get paid double? Like they don't get
Why
paid.
shouldn't we?
I'm just saying.
Let's talk to our sponsors.
Or do we have to pay double?
Nah. I'm gonna send them the check. Like, yo, hold on.
One of the two.
Send the invoice real quick.
Yo, so let's jump right in. Let's jump right in, bro. So this is your shit. Your time to sign, Jay. What you got today?
Man, listen, I came up with this topic. I think it was about like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, I think we did it already, but yeah.
Nah,
I'm kidding.
Like, yeah, come on. I mean, look, the question is this: would you rather be a coach or would you rather be a mentor? Talk to me.
Or is there a difference?
Are they the same?
I think they're different. I think a coach. Well, I think right now the whole life coach industry is more like is becoming more like you know, it's like in that whole industry of like pay for a seminar type of thing, right? So I think the mentor-mentee relationship differs from a coachee relationship in that it's not a financial transaction, at least not most of the times, because I think now you could pay for a mentor, but I wouldn't call that a mentor. I would call that a coach, right?
Correct.
But a mentor-mentee relationship is more on, I think that both sides are getting something, right? I think the mentor gets something, right? Because I think the mentor learns as he is mentoring, right? Because you learn leadership skills, communication skills, right? And then also the mentee gets some valuable, right, insight. Correct. Because maybe the mentor, typically speaking, the mentor gets has more experience, right? Unless it's like reverse mentoring, which we could get into, like different types of mentoring. But yeah, I think coaching versus mentoring is a completely different thing. I appreciate more mentoring because I believe I don't want to use the word natural, because in a lot of corporate environments, you have initiatives that promote mentor/mentee relationships as a way to retain talent. And again, we'll get more into that. But the coach, right? The life coach thing, now that's becoming a career. Like, I want to become a life coach. I want to be a life coach. That's more of a career now, right? Like you'll see that in an Instagram profile. Like, okay, you know, Jay Cotto, life coach.
Correct.
You wouldn't see Jay Cotto, mentor.
Yeah, so when I came, like when that crossed to me, it was kind of like I was listening to the A-Rod podcast, and he was talking like
he do it A-Rod. Hopefully we get him soon, right?
Listen, I like to do a lot more now, right?
He answered your emails?
No, not yet.
All right, me neither.
A-Rod, come on, man, stop playing with me. But I think that he gave such a big I guess he held his coach in such a high regard, right? That it's kind of like, because of his coach, he sort of ended up being in the way the career path that he ended up going, right?
Well, no. You're talking about his baseball coach.
Correct. No, but that's
a different thing.
So it's different types of coaching,
right? Like
right?
I think you're referring to his high
athletes.
School, high school
you're
baseball
talking about
coach.
like sports coaching, and then you start talking about like business coaching,
right? But I think,
so which are two different sides,
right?
Of
but I think A-Rod said specifically his high school coach was his mentor.
So he did differentiate.
Right? And I think Josh, you know, our guy Josh also has said that one of the biggest mentors he's had in his life was his high school baseball coach.
So, but when I relate coaching whether it's in sports or in business, right?
Right.
There is a level of I mean, I think in sports is less transactional. It's more of, you're there to coach these kids, whether it's in baseball, soccer, whatever it is,
Right.
to show them the strategies and show them the
You
everything that they
said
have to do.
it's more transactional?
No, no, no. It's less transactional, right? It's
Less.
more like
Okay.
a relationship building, developmental
For the good coaches
for the
out
good
there.
coach. I guess
Right.
for the good coaches, right? The shitty coaches are just gonna yell at you,
And they
punch
want to
you,
get paid.
exactly, right?
Right.
Let me cash this check.
Right.
But on the business coaching, that's more transactional, like as you mentioned.
Right.
And I think that part of the social media platforms sensationalized it a little bit, made it more popular,
Right.
made it more, all right, this could be an additional revenue stream. You know what? Buy this house, renovate, do the bird model, and now I can show you how to make this M, right? So
Right.
everybody's just selling you that product. And now the question here is, can you still become successful without investing into coaching if you're not lucky enough to find a mentor?
I think that's a really good way of looking at it, because I wouldn't necessarily look at it that way. Um, but hearing you say it, I think that there are a lot of people. I'll say this: I have mentors who have invested in coaches, right?
Mhm.
So think about that. Like, I have people that I kind of go to and um, for advice. I speak to them probably on a daily
Mhm.
or bi-daily basis, right? And I go to them, and these people have told me, "Hey, look, I have a coach.
Yeah.
I have a business coach. I have a life coach. You should look into it, right?" But like I said, a lot of those things I really look as more transactional. But maybe you're right. Maybe you should invest in that, and that would be probably, I guess, to your point, if you don't have access to a mentor,
Mhm.
right? Which a lot of us,
Because it's kind of it's
which a
kind
lot of us don't.
like, I mean, look,
A lot of us, growing up the way that we grew up in, which we've said it a lot of times, right? Like in the inner cities,
Yeah.
right? Immigrants, first or second generation, we don't have mentors,
yeah,
right?
you don't really know how to go to it. Sometimes
Right.
you can just feel awkward. Hey, listen, can you mentor me? But again, if
All
you're
right, but
lucky,
let's start there. How do those relationships typically start? Like, let's say I'm just starting college,
Uh-huh.
and I'm telling myself, hey, I could really benefit from a mentor
Mhm.
or from a life coach or from a business
Correct.
coach. I think when you're entering college, you don't have money to pay for a life
Nah.
coach, right? So you want to look for a mentor.
Mhm.
So how does that relationship typically start?
I think that in class, like, I mean, let's say you're attending class, right? Like, and I think that now throughout the years, because I don't want to date myself, but when I was in school, I'm like, I felt awkward to go back into like to go to my professor that I looked up the most to and say,
Right.
yo, like, I would like to be like you when I get older, right?
Right.
But you start kind of like leaning a little bit, start asking a little more questions, and I think that it kind of came up to the professor and said to me, you might be able to look into this field. I think that based on your strengths.
Right.
So at that point, the relationship was for me to pick up and say and follow up, try to develop some continuity with the communication with him, and we kept it more on a weekly basis and
Right.
say, all right,
So
and
he
then-
kind of mentored you a little bit.
somewhat,
To
right?
some
And then of
extent.
course, what happened is once I figure out, right, like you're no good. Like I think I already got everything that I got from you. I got to
Right.
move on from you, right?
Okay,
Which-
so I
which
mean,
it is what it is.
well, you
right?
bring up a few points, right? I think number one, you bring up, I think, the student professor relationship, right? Because now you leave high school, you're looking at life a little bit different. Now you're thinking career, right?
Mhm.
Like for the most part, right? You're saying, all right, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or this
Yeah.
is the career path I want to go on. And then you may have a professor who you look up to, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that's the correct mentor for you, right?
Yeah.
So that's one point that you bring up that we could kind of dig into a little bit. The other point that you bring up is, can you outgrow your mentor, right? Like,
If I'm the mentor and I got outgrown by my mentee, I'll be hella happy. I'll be like, yo, I
but
did
that's
a
what I'm
great
saying, right?
thing.
So can you outgrow? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you don't outgrow your mentor, because like I said, I think the mentor-mentee relationship is more, it's a two-way relationship, right?
Yes.
Because I think you do, and I want to get into, you do get a lot from mentoring, not
Mhm.
just from being a mentee, right?
Correct.
Like,
It's your way of giving back, pretty
Right.
much. Like every knowledge that you acquire,
think
let me
that's-
just pass it down, right?
I think that's how it starts. I think that you say, hey, I want to give back, so let me mentor someone. You see a lot of that with like private schools,
Yeah.
right? Like Catholic schools. Like I went to this Catholic school. I had an opportunity to go. I'm not saying me. I'm just saying like in general. I didn't go to a Catholic school.
Oh, you went to Catholic school?
I did not.
Damn, bro.
I wish. You're right, but I went to a private school. Like if I was a mentor and I want to give back. So like usually these alumni, they either join an
I
organization.
hate when I get those letters. I'm like, yo, ain't no charity right now this year.
they join an organization to become or to sponsor underprivileged kids. But part of that sponsorship is mentoring, right? Like, look, walk them through how you became successful, starting at exactly where they're gonna start, right? So it is a lot about giving back. But aside from that, what would you say are the top, let's say, 3 things that you feel that a mentor can get from a mentor-mentee relationship versus what a mentee gets?
So I mean, that's such a good question because when
I know, bro. I keep telling you that this is what I do, bro.
Yo, I think that you're getting paid a little bit more than I am, honestly. I got to start talking to the producers.
I don't think so.
But so no, I think that the top 3 things that a mentor should be able to get back, it would definitely be a way of trying to pass down the knowledge, right? Like a way of.
So that's like self-gratification.
Self-gratification,
right?
Right. Also, it would be expansion in terms of maybe you're looking to grow something, and by being able to transition some of the knowledge over to your people, you can start expanding your business and start doing reaching areas that you may not be able to do it all on your own.
Okay.
Right. And the third thing I think is just being able to I think it's just top 2. Like I think that's really
I look at it
self gratification and expansion.
Right. I look at it. Okay, there is a gratification. Well, there's a giving back, right? And but I think also that you hone leadership skills.
Yeah.
While doing that, a lot of corporations invest heavily in these mentor-mentee programs and workshops within the workforce for a couple of reasons, right? I was reading some stats earlier.
Culture.
Right. It's for good culture, but also it's for retention, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge movement going on right now that states if you're in corporate America, you shouldn't be in a job or in a position for more than 3 years, right? Because that's the way you maximize the amount of money that you're going to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you an example. Like if we look back, post baby boomers, right? And whatever, let's say we're talking 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever.
Yeah.
The mindset of employees was, hey, let me stay in this job until I retire.
But I think that's a systemic approach as well.
Well, because the system was conducive to that attitude for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of industry, there weren't as many industries or different ways to make money as there are today.
Yes.
And number 2, pension plans were the shit.
Well, I mean, that like, actually,
like you actually, like we work in like helping people with that age into Medicare to get their insurance. We see like the older they are, like the more robust their pension benefits
of course
are. That doesn't exist anymore, right? So now there's no incentive to keep you in a job for 20, 25, 30, 35 years to retire from there because you want a good pension.
But well, I think that, well, you see, I think a little different because it depends. If you're going, that's into the private sector, right? But if you work more in the public sector, your city or state,
it's still not the same.
Most teachers look forward to
but it's still
20,
not the
25
same.
years.
It's just because that's the career, but it's still not the same.
So exactly, a lot of it depends.
But
on
even
the careers.
teachers, right? Like your wife is a special needs teacher, right? So even her, I've had conversations with Carla where it's not about it's not the pension that's at the forefront. Correct. It's like, all right, look, I this is my.
Well, she's doing it because she's passionate.
With
about
her,
what she
it's
does.
her passion,
Yes,
right? With her, it's her passion. But she also looks at it from a business perspective. Like, all right, if I go to this school or this district or this whatever, so I think that changes now. So a lot of corporations are losing a lot of talent because of that. Because really good talent has figured out, hey, 2-3 years at a job, now I can go out in the job market and then I can increase my salary by 20, 25%, 30%, 40%, even 50%, or even double the salary.
But that depends into the industry as well, because if you go into law enforcement, by them taking tests, they can stay internally, right, and just rank up and start making more money.
Right. I think that there are some industry specific things that can be different. But I think overall the market
Yes, I agree.
is so now. So getting back to our topic of mentor mentee
Mhm.
relationships, right, or programs. So a lot of data now shows that if you do have a mentor mentee relationship,
Yes.
you are 70 to 80% more likely to stay within with your current employer because of a mentor or because you have a mentee, right? So
Mhm.
there are different ways now that they're getting into this relationship. We have friends in the industry, in
Mhm.
the healthcare industry,
Yes.
that are at an executive level, C-suite levels, who have mentor
Mentors.
mentee
Mhm.
relationships, right? So we could see it
I
that,
mean,
that it's happening.
and again, in an intent, like I guess in an indirect way, we kind of like rip the benefits out of that, right?
Right.
Because some of that information that's being passed down to them, they're kind of just giving it to us. It's kind of
Right,
like we
right,
are the
right.
mentees in this case.
Right.
But I think that not only in the corporate sector, but also I think it can be transitioned more into like the family, into the sibling relationship, as well as the friends, right? Because
All right, so you're looking at a mentor mentee relationship outside of like
outside of work,
work
right? So sometimes you always go into
or
like
career.
let's say as we were growing up, right? You
Right.
start looking into like, yo, who's the most successful cat in your block?
Oh,
Like,
so let's talk
who's the one
hood
that's
hood
yeah.
mentor.
All right, let's keep it streets, right?
Let's go street.
Who's the most successful dude that's driving the Benz with the Rollie?
So who's your mentor in Brooklyn, bro?
Man, I gotta give it to
in
Hove.
the South Side.
I gotta give it to Hove.
Well, Hope wasn't really your mentor, you know.
What do you mean? He gave
Shout out to Marcy Project.
He gave
but
me the
that's not-
blueprint, bro.
No,
I
stop
listened to
it,
his
bro.
lyrics.
Stop it. I mean, look, maybe, right? Maybe. All right. How personal does a mentor-mentee relationship have to be successful?
Exactly. So how close does it have?
I
to
think
be?
he was more of an influencer. He influenced
Well,
your
he was my imaginary mentor.
right. Okay.
All
Let's
right,
call
let's
it
put
that.
it
Let's
that way.
call it that.
No, but all jokes aside, I think that sometimes we lean into seeing who's the most successful individual within our families,
Right.
right?
I think that's where we start.
And that's our start point,
Right.
right? And then whether or not you speak to them and say, "Hey, listen, I love what you do and everything. How do I get in?" It could be breaking the avenue for you to start, and then
Right.
for you to start establishing that mentee relationship.
Right.
Doesn't have to be very close, because sometimes people don't have the closer relationship. But I do believe that if the mentor is able to recognize that person will get that level of self gratification at a higher level, and it's going to make them perform also better. As you said, they're going to hone
Right.
down a little bit more into the leadership skills, right?
Right.
As opposed to the coaching.
And now
aspect.
they may think, hey, somebody's looking up to me, right? So you
course.
act differently, right? It could be like a parent relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to do the right thing in front of your kids,
I
right?
mean, yeah, exactly. We're like our children look up to us,
Right.
right? We're everything, and then
Right.
us as individuals, there's somebody that we're going to be looking up to, that we feel that they have accomplished a level of success that we're trying to get
Right.
to, and life can just be so like, it's not a box. It's like there's not an answer for all, and sometimes you may be lost in the direction that you want trying to get into.
Right.
But I think a lot of that relies onto self-awareness. It comes
Okay.
from the individual to know what they want and what they want.
So let's go back to what you put on the table a little earlier. Can you be successful without some type of mentor, mentee, or coach relationship, right? Like, is that possible?
I believe it is possible, but also you got to define the level of success, right? Because I think that success is defined like in so many. It's so vague.
That's a completely different topic.
Yeah, it's so vague, right? But if you do want to accomplish something,
Right.
I think that you could get it done without a coach and without a mentor. It may take you longer,
Right.
right? But if you do have the ability to say invest into a coach, whether you want to do real estate, whether you want to become a social media influencer, whatever industry you're looking into, and you have the ability to say, you know what, I got this. These are my last $100, and I do firmly believe that investing into this is going to be a way of me bypassing the challenges,
or
learn
like what
and
they
probably
say,
maximize.
Because what they say is
Maximize.
like, wise people learn from others'
Yeah.
mistakes,
Mhm.
right? I think that's what a mentor kind of boils down to. Like, look, don't take that path because I did it. I tried it. It didn't work. And
Yeah.
here's why it didn't work. Try this path because this is where I went after that, after I failed. So
Exactly.
maybe you can learn from that. Now, let's say, let's throw coach out the window. Let's talk mentor and mentee. How would you go about getting a mentor? Like I want a mentor with real estate,
let's say
for
that
example.
we're in the like you're more on the mentor side, or you're more on the mentee side? Like,
well, how do you
so
go
let's say
about
if I would
establishing a
like to be
relationship?
mentoring, all right. So if let's say I hit a point in my life in which now I want to be able to give back and try to expand and do not necessarily looking for revenue, but more trying to like do some good, right?
Right.
I would start going into the my friends. I would start going to some of our agents, some of our peers, and let them know, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, and just start pretty much being a little bit more vocal about the things that I see that are working for me, and let them know I'm available whenever you need or any questions that you may have. It's kind of like I planted the seed.
Right.
Now you got to just
I
water
think
it,
that
right?
goes to like I mean, I guess from a mentor's perspective, it could come across, if it's not in a corporate world where it's structured, where
Mhm.
it's like, hey, I'm gonna pair Jonathan up with XYZ because I could see how they work
And that's a
well
double-edged
together.
sword. Because what if you pair me with somebody that I can't stand?
And that's fine.
I'm
And
like, I
that's
don't
fine.
like this
And
dude.
maybe that'll help you grow, or maybe
Yeah.
it'll go to shit, right? But from a if you want to become a mentee, right? I think a lot of things have to kind of come into play, right? Number one, egos play a part, right? So you got to
Big
put your
part.
ego aside.
Yeah.
So like let's say I want to get into the real estate industry. I want to go out there and I want to see who within whether it's my inner circle, and then I start going outside, right?
Mhm.
Like, okay, who can help me do real estate sales, for
Yeah.
example,
Mhm.
right? And then I think that's how you kind of got to look at it. All right, who's successful around me doing
Yeah.
real estate? No one. All right, so who can I get to, right? Like, and now with social media, you can probably get to a bunch of people, right? Like
Jesus.
now, obviously,
The
you got
question is it for free that you're gonna get to them, or you
well,
gotta
right.
pay?
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful, right? Because more like the I think mentor-mentee relationships outside of like those corporate programs,
Yeah.
they tend to happen more organically.
I was just
right?
gonna say that. Yeah.
Right. So like I think I don't know if we call them mentors. I think we got a bunch of people that we kind of like in our industry and outside of our industry that we say, hey, look, this person's kind of doing the right thing.
Mhm.
I, we're in sales, we talk a lot. So I'll literally, hey, yo, what's up, dude? How's it going? Or gal, whatever.
Yeah.
Or do debt.
Do
right?
that. Oh man, I never use that.
But hey, like, yo, hey, look, yo, can you help me with this? Or what do you think about this?
Yeah.
You start bouncing ideas off. And I think that I think most people are willing to help. I think most people, for the most part, right, are willing to help if they see that
There's a level of interest
that you're putting in the
genuine.
work, that is
Yeah.
genuine, that you're not gonna waste their time. I think that most people want to spread or pass down their knowledge.
Yeah, because I think that there is a
Except
correlation.
for you, but no,
What do you mean?
that's a joke.
Jesus.
That's a joke.
No, I think that there's a correlation between mentoring and success, and most importantly, those true mentors, the true mentors, they don't really care about the money.
Right.
They're not there looking.
I mean, my whole,
like,
you know,
they're
my
not
whole,
looking at you as a
my whole
dollar
problem
sign.
with
Yeah.
that, with the whole
The
Joel
coaching,
Osteen's and
the Tony
Tony
Robbins,
Robbins, which I
yeah.
think they're, they bring value.
I mean,
but
listen, like
Joel Osteen's a separate thing because he takes religion, but Tony Robbins does bring value. He's super fucking expensive,
yeah,
but
exactly. So it's like, all right, dude, like you're charging $9,000 just to
Yeah.
like I get it, but I want to know. I invest this $9,000 to go to
What
your
the
event.
fuck
How
am
much?
I getting?
What's my ROI on that? Like, am I
Yeah,
gonna get it at
bro.
least 80% back on my money?
That's a negative.
you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So all right, what's look, I get it. I just don't know. Maybe I'm not oblivious and I'm not trying to be naive either.
Right.
But let's say that you do attend one of the events of Tony Robbins and you come
Right.
back pumped up.
Right.
And
you land the deal.
And most importantly, now you got a picture with Tony Robbins that you're going to frame in your office.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I think you got to pay a certain level to get the picture.
That's
right?
a $9,000
That's
entrance.
$9,000. Okay.
Right?
It's fucking insane.
And then you ate a carbone with him.
Oh, Carbone. All right.
Now,
I mean, that's part of the $9,000 experience.
yeah, I hope that he paid for that.
Probably fucking not.
So
Because you're probably one out of like 200 that paid the $9,000 experience.
yeah, but I think that if you do go through that whole little turn of events,
There has to be some value.
there will be an intangible value that it will come to you. Because
But not to all.
Maybe not immediately.
But
but I think that you will get that $9,000 back in due time.
All right, but let's say I pay the $9,000, you pay the $9,000.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't necessarily mean, it's not like going to a store. We're not gonna get the same thing because we both paid the same amount, right? So with a lot of these things, with coaching and with a lot of these like these I don't know what you want to call them, the self-improvement seminars or like
self-development
and all that stuff. It's not a simple transaction. Like if I'm gonna go buy this car and it's 50 grand and they're gonna sell it to you for the same price and me for the same price, we're both gonna walk out with the same car, right? With these events, it's not like that because now there's a, and they tell you this, there's a portion of it that you have to put that
it's a lot of work that you have to put.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So now that's where I find it, that's where I'm kind of like, all right, so why are you paying for this? Because you're selling me something that you're telling me I'm gonna be successful if I pay these 50 grand.
But again, so now my theory would be more like, you know what? I'm gonna have to pay you $9,000. I still gotta work. For that, I could just watch all your videos on YouTube, save my $9,000 and put into work, maybe a little bit more work than I would have, right? And still, I might not find the whole success.
But that's why
I'm finding 30% of the success.
No, but
I would have.
Because then again, you could find success, and then maybe that could take you to the next level.
Yeah,
right. Maybe that. Right. I saw a video on Instagram the other day. It was fucking hilarious, bro. The guy's like, if you make 100 grand or more, I'll get you shredded. And I'm like,
is that the dude that's like ripped and
obviously
like you don't even got to work or do cardio?
Obviously, I don't know. I didn't go into it, but I saw it. But it was funny because then I went to read the comments, and it was like people were like, "Yo, the fucking dumbest marketing strategy ever," which I don't know if it's dumb or not, because at least I stopped and looked at the comments, because I was like, the fuck, you make 100 grand or more, you're gonna get ripped? Like, what is this shit talking about, right? And it's like, and then he goes into like this whole spiel, like, I just want to make sure that this is not cheap and that you could afford it, but if you're in this category, I can help you get shredded. It's an ex-NFL player. I don't fucking know. I don't even know the name of the company.
Look, the fact that
my point
came up
is,
with 100 grand, now I'm a little skeptical.
But that's my point. My point is that all these things, as great as Tony Robbins, and again, Tony Robbins, we're not taking Tony Robbins as
hey, Tony, if you want, look,
yo, fuck Tony. No, I'm kidding.
Wait. Tony, look, we don't need 4 tickets. You could just give us 2. We're the ones that actually, talking about you, all right? We're giving you.
Look, as great as Tony Robbins can be, our boy Reyes loves Tony Robbins. Yeah. He's actually paid for this thing.
He fucking?
He's gone out.
I'm gonna be his +1.
Well, he's actually done it. He's done multiple. He's done more than one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see Ralph in the golf course with his like little Tony Robbins.
He's fucking. Yeah, you see the gear.
He's fucking flexing it.
He's showing the $9,000 entrance.
But again, I think that there's a lot to that. Number one, would Rafael have gotten the same value for his money 10 years ago, or when he did it, or 15 years ago? No. So my point is, at some level, that becomes more of a business, right? It's more of I don't give a fuck if you're successful after my $9,000 conference. I'm going to provide the value. Like, I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to give you exclusive.
I think the psych behind it too, because now if more than likely, if you win the first time, you're probably going to continue to go.
I don't know.
If you see a level of success, more than likely you will continue. to go.
And then that becomes like cult-like following and shit, right? Like some people do. Like, some people become obsessive. Who you pointing to back
there? The Tony Robbins, bro. That's
oh yeah, like hoorah, But I'm saying, like, so back to the core question, which is, can you be successful without investing or having a non-investment relationship, like a mentor-mentee relationship? I think the answer, in my opinion, is like, yes, you can be successful. I think a lot of those things are tools that can make you more successful.
Correct.
or not even more successful, because like you said, success is very it's a vague description of, right? Like my definition of success is different than yours, but I think that there are tools that can help you elevate your game. But I think that you have to get to a place without any of that, right? Without a mentor-mentee relationship. Because first you got to get to the place where you acknowledge and you understand, hey, I could really use a mentor right now. That takes growing. That takes self-development to get to the point where you say, yo, I want Jay to mentor me because Jay's really successful at what he does, right? So I got to get to that point, right? I could probably say, yo, I want to make the money Jay makes, but that's not the same as saying, yo, I want to go and shadow Jay, right? I think A-Rod, you mentioned A-Rod at the beginning. A-Rod talks a lot about that. Like, yo, if you really want to be successful at a specific craft, right? Email motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Call them, email them, keep emailing them, send them DMs, right? Like, try to contact them, be persistent about it, and say, hey, yo, dude, I will literally just fucking go get your coffee. You don't gotta even acknowledge that I'm in the room. I just want to be able to shadow you and see what your days look like, right?
Yeah.
So that I can learn.
Yeah, because
Right.
look, I'm a firm believer in that. That's why, like, it brings me back to making the band Puffy, working for a cheesecake. You had to walk all, the
I don't
Brooklyn
know.
Bridge.
I mean, is this something like that? Is predates me because you're way older, or
These fucking guys.
what the
bro.
fuck you talking
You're
about?
like 38 years old, bro. But all right, so no, I think that if you do want to be,
but go back to the Puffy thing.
all right, bro. When Puffy had this show, it's called Making the Band. I think that's what it was called.
I remember that.
And then he
That's
sent
not that
them.
old.
He was like, "Y'all want to be successful?"
Diddy at the
Well,
time.
yeah.
Or was it Puffy at the time?
I don't know.
All right.
Was he Diddy before J-Lo or after J-Lo?
I think Diddy was after J-Lo as our
Was
boy.
after-
Yo,
alright.
see, thank you. It was Diddy was after J-Lo.
All right, so he made people walk from Manhattan to
making the band.
downtown
That sounds
Brooklyn
vaguely familiar.
to go get cheesecake from Junior's.
Wow.
Now I'm talking about
Flatbush.
quite a few miles, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Wow.
All right, but that's Puff. Hey, you want to? If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's an example of like, all right, you want to be successful. Show me that you're willing to do the dirty work,
Right.
because
Right. I think
you're
that
trying
that's
to
more
bypass.
like a cycle.
Yeah, like you're trying to bypass all these things, and like just to the A-Rod point, persistency is key.
right.
If you're going to just give up at the very first bad turn that you see in your life, the very first challenge,
Like
an
closed
obstacle,
door. Right.
like, man, listen, then maybe just get a 9 to 5. You know,
Right.
like Biggie said, UPS is hiring. Was that Biggie?
Yo, isn't
Yeah.
UPS? Doesn't UPS like have like they paying like
UPS
six
is
figures
about to
now,
give
right?
you $250,000.
Ah, well.
I'm about, yo, what up? Send me that application.
Shut the fuck up. But yeah, so it begs the question: do you have to reach a certain level of development on your own to even be considered? Because that's another thing. Even let's go back to the corporate mentor-mentee programs. They don't choose everyone to get mentored.
No.
Right?
Of course not. You
You have to
gotta
show
be selective.
signs,
Yeah,
right?
like-
You got to show signs that you're willing to put in the work,
Yeah.
that you're already on a path doing well, right?
Bro, You know what it takes me to? You watch Suits before?
Of course, bro.
All right. So
Who are you on Suits?
I love to be Harvey Specter.
I know why, motherfucker.
Harvey the man, bro. But just look at everything that those junior attorneys had to go through.
You got to
right?
put the disclaimer. Don't want to fuck your secretary, right? Like, you know.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of. Can you read that disclaimer again, please? Read it.
That's not the reason why.
I don't want. No,
It's
I'm
the
not trying
suits.
to be.
It's the suits.
It's the suits. Nice suits. It's suits that fly. But Harvey
Alright,
the man,
so
right? So the
yeah.
point is, listen, if everyone like they came in as junior associate attorneys, and
Right.
they had to put in the work, the long hours, right, to show that you want to be successful.
Right. Yeah.
That theory applies to everything in life,
Right.
right? Whether you want to be a plumber and become a master plumber and own your own plumbing company, or whatever craft that you're trying to do, just be willing to start
Put in the work.
the process. Don't give up, right? If you're gonna open up a store, you can't close it and say, hey, let me break my lease because I don't have no clients walking in,
Right.
right? You got to be willing to do the marketing,
Yeah,
the
look,
advertising, and do the dirty work.
I think
so.
that mentor-mentee relationships, I think life coaches I think that those are all great tools.
Yeah.
Are they the golden key to success? I don't think so. I see them as tools. I see them as things that you can really benefit from.
Yes.
But you have to be ready to receive mentoring, right? You got to be ready to receive coaching. So there's a lot of self-development that needs to happen before that for you to get there, right?
Yeah,
I think
of course.
number one is humility, right?
Yeah, because the criticism could be tough.
The criticism will be tough, right? Because if you're looking for mentorship,
that's
right?
the
If
first
you-
thing that they'll tell you.
well,
Like,
yeah,
you're not
if
doing this right.
looking for mentorship, that's the type of mentorship you want, as long as it's coming from
From a good place.
From a good
Yeah.
place. But yeah, you have to. There's self-growth. There's some self-development that has to happen before you reach that point. And I don't think that there's a specific point that you have to reach. I think that the point that you can really benefit from some
I think
mentoring.
you know when you're ready for a mentor, though. Like,
But that's my point.
Yeah.
I think you know when it is.
Yeah,
It
'cause
could be different for
you're
many
gonna
people.
hit. I think that you're gonna come a point in that career that which you're gonna hit like a stumble. Like, all right, like
Right.
I'm doing a lot, but I'm not moving up.
Right.
I just need somebody to just clear out the path for me and give me the vision. But again, being humble and the humility aspect of it is very, very important, because the criticism, some people, let's be honest. I mean,
Can't handle it.
I think that the only criticism that people have told me is that I'm short, and I used to not take it well. And then look at Kevin Hart, right? So now I'm like, all right,
Yeah, well, there you go.
So you know what I mean?
You
But
mad fucking short though. Okay.
oh, come on, bro. I'm 5'7".
That's good, actually.
This Yeezy's got me at 5'8" and a
That's
half.
what I'm gonna tell you. They got some sneakers that could give you a couple inches.
Tom Cruise used to wear them, right?
All right, Jay. Final thoughts, Papa.
Final thoughts. I agree with you. I think that mentoring and coaching are tools that will get you to the next level.
Right.
But
can get you.
That can get you to the next level. But you could be successful without them, right? As long as you're willing to do the work and do the grind, yep, you'll be successful.
I agree. Look, I think again, they are tools that you and only you can recognize when you should look for them, because you could receive really great information today and you're not ready to receive it, and you could receive the same exact information a year from now and you view it completely different. Correct. Right? So I think that's what mentoring and coaching is going to be. So if anybody needs mentoring or coaching, call my boy Jay. You get at
Yo, for real. I'm gonna send you the coaching bill.
It's something that everybody should look into, right? If you feel like you're ready to elevate your game in your respective industry to the next level, look for who is successful, who's in front of you, right? Who can teach you some things, or who's done it before. Put your ego aside and really take advantage of it, bro.
Or you could just slide on our Hellas's DM, Cap Jelly DM, and let them know, listen, I'm stuck in my career at the moment. I want to know what path should I go. And, we'll
That's
be here. It's a wrap, baby.
All right, baby. It's a wrap. This Industreet. Bye-bye.